guys, good evening. I know that I see like 2 people on here, but no pressure. I wanted to take a minute and go live. I kind of been wanting to show a little bit of like progress with the garden. Now I'll tell you that this is not going to be like, look how great my garden is, because we're going to see a little bit of like the good, the bad, and the ugly, because our garden's not perfect. So anyways, especially it's been super hot. The weeds have been like atrocious, just kind of creeping through all the beds. So we've been trying to stay on top of it, but there is some areas like this area that has just gotten away from me. So anyways, I'm gonna flip this around. This is my first time doing this, so bear with me. A little bit like nerve-wracking, but we're gonna flip this around here. There we go. Okay, so we're in the middle of the garden. This is about 30 feet from this side, and then we have the middle melon patch, and then we have the side over there. So I'm gonna turn this around. Hopefully you don't get dizzy. Here we have the corn that has kind of taken off just within the past like week or two. So I asked in one of the homesteading groups which kinds of corn that they were planting here, and I'll drop it down in the comments after the video as far as all the varieties of everything, just because off the top of my head it's just, yeah, I think it's like peaches and cream is one of them, and then there's one that's like a kiss me something. And then we have some volunteers here of the tomatoes that have just kind of popped up through this bed because we reconfigured this whole area from last year, and so there were tomato plants growing in this area last year. So I think these ones, yeah, they're the little tiny, what are those called, those little cherry tomatoes? Yeah, so I have Peyton here for my emotional support. So anyways, this is the herb garden. I have things like lemon balm, and there's stevia. There is mint and thyme and garlic chives. And you'll see out here, if you're subscribed to the channel, you will know that we bought raw land. And so you'll see that it's just starting to fill in with the grass in the middle. And then there's all different, we still have some remnant. I like to kind of grow this out. I know that we're not going to get ahead on that, but you can use the greens off of the broccolis and cauliflowers, and the chickens love it too, so I just kind of let it go. There's lots of like leeks. And then there's all different, we still have some remnant. I like to kind of grow this sunflowers. I have the cucumbers going up, and again, I planted later just because I didn't want the frost to get my stuff. So I am a little bit more delayed than some people, but they are starting to go up, which is nice. Did you get a tomato? Cherry tomato? I have the cucumbers going. So there's celery still going here, which is doing really good. And then we have the tomatillos around, and checking these. Hornworm is getting my stuff, so I don't know if you guys know. Let me know if you know a way to find those. I actually bought some black lights because I was reading that you can see them at night, but I couldn't see anything. So if you guys know how to locate those, let me know, and let me know where you're tuning in from, if you're local to me or if you are in another state or another country. I would love to know that. So here's some pole beans that we have just starting to go up. We have some kale. We have tomatoes along the bottom here, and some more kale here too. So these ones are looking really good. Here's some pole beans that we have just starting to go up. There's green beans there. This is the only spot that I did pole beans. The rest of them, the chickens got them because the little baby chickens were in here before, like, I planted all the seeds and stuff. But they have pecked my green beans, which I'm not happy with, but kind of expected it. So there's comfrey. There is so many uses for comfrey. So it's a nitrogen fixer, which a lot of people, I hope I'm not disconnecting, but I'll take this comfrey and make salves, but then I'll also use it and chop it down at the bottom. And then you can lay it as like a mulch around your orchard trees, which is really great. That's what I've been using this for. So I just let it do its thing. You see the harvest laying there? So we went through, I was kind of going before the live, going through and of them just are bigger than others. Not very uniform. There's the cherry tomatoes we got, some jalapenos and cucumbers. Look at these 3 different types of cucumbers. Quite a size difference, huh? I'm curious to see which one we'll like more, but anyway, I like to kind of see, just because we are kind of newer to North Carolina, and so I like to see what varieties do best. So you'll notice as we go through, there's just lots of different types, which is why I say I'll never know like which variety is which without looking. So we have some romaines. Lots of different types, which is why I say I'll never know like which. Very cool. I kind of take note of which seeds are doing the best, and then what I'll do is I'll grow that and harvest it, or give it to the chickens. So this one, I think this is the red seeded Simpson. I mean, it's obviously a dead giveaway with like the red leaves, but that one does really well, still within the hot climate that we have in the middle of summer here in North Carolina. So the fact that that one is still doing well and looks good and tastes good is really the reason why I grow it. So here's some more. And in one of our other videos, we just recently put this weed fabric down. I was very hesitant because of the leaching, but I decided to go with it just because I was having such an issue with the weeds. So anyways, here is some of our peppers that we have here. Lots of different varieties between the sweet peppers, we have bell peppers, and then we have spicy peppers. So look at those tomatoes over there. Everything's doing pretty good now. Got a slow start, like I said, but it's going pretty good. So in the video that's going to be coming out probably tonight after I do this live, you'll see that we put down some straw here. So number one, the straw is going to keep in the moisture as the mulch, but then also as the melons produce, we got watermelon, honeydew, and like cantaloupe type stuff, it'll actually help, won't be sitting on wet soil, so it'll help that too, so that it's sitting on something more dry, which is nice. And make sure that if you're using this, do not use hay, because that hay will just go right into your garden and you'll have weeds. So here is the asparagus and strawberry beds all the way down. The grasses and weeds have kind of taken over. We do have some onions still down at the end. And then all of these 3 beds here in front of me, so this one, and this one, they all have squashes and pumpkins and zucchinis. So let's go down here and you can see. Look at that little guy. So cute. For you guys know, if you garden, they take over like a thief in the night, like real quick. So the boys have been coming out here and we'll just cut off the leaves that the squash eggs are on, and then we'll put them in the fire pit. And then my 8-year-old son, he wants to be a firefighter, so he kind of has taken to this whole fire thing, which we make sure that he's safe, but he does go out and he likes to burn those squash bug eggs because they sizzle and then they like pop, like burst. So anyways, if you know about vine borers, that's what this is. So I left it because I wanted to show you, and I've seen other people, you can see the damage here. That's what a vine borer will do. They will literally bore into the vine at the base. So I've seen people that use like gauze around the base, which I'll probably do next year. And then I've also seen people that do like a plastic cup around the bottom so they can't burrow into that vine. So anyways, I didn't really get around to it. As you can see, there's quite a bit of plants, so that would take quite a bit of time. So I'm just more of like, let's just forget it and we'll just like sow some more seeds versus like trying to worry about it all. So anyways, and if you guys know what this is, I scanned it once, but I forget what it is, but it's just really cool, so I left it. look at you guys. There's a tomato growing wild. I did not plant that. It just kind of planted itself. The chickens were in here over the winter, so they have definitely done their fair share of like planting seeds as they like recycle in the mouth and out the rear end. But here is some spaghetti squash. We have those going. Super excited. I actually still have one spaghetti squash from last year when I grew it, and it's still in the pantry, still good. So there's butternut coming. There's sunflowers. And these ones, you can see the birds have been having a heyday with that seed. So, oh, there's the dreaded leaf leggers. Those things are the reason why we have that. So sunflowers are really a great trap crop for a lot of different pests, but squash bugs and those leaf leggers are definitely one of the reasons we have that. So this is a vacuum, you guys. So it's made by Cobalt. No, I'm not sponsored. I am not that like fancy. But yeah, so you can use this end and thank you for Miss Vanna White over here. But you can use it and you can just suck them up. And what we do is inside there is soapy water that they just kind of go into and then they die. So that's sometimes the easiest thing for me, is just to suck them up, because I am not going and picking them all off. The boys are not like nervous about it, but catching bugs like that is not my jam. So that's not going to happen. The boys actually planted these sunflowers. There's Mr. Busy Bee. I just love seeing them on these. So actually, when the melons are in full flower, which will be soon, they will actually sleep inside. They almost get like pollen drunk, and they literally like will just fall asleep inside the flowers. They're so cute. If you guys have seen that, let me know. But it's so wild. I had never seen that before. So anyways, these things are huge, and the two younger boys planted these from seed, and they're just so ecstatic that they've done so well. So here is, okay, so this is the bed that I'm talking about that is just taken over. The boys have all done really good on theirs, and that was my bed that I'm supposed to weed. So getting pulled in a million directions. It's kind of gotten away from me. So what we're going to do is you can do two things. So you can do a tarp and just kind of put it over top of this, or you can get boxes and put them on top of there too. So you just want to make sure that you weigh them down. So what we'll usually do is put like pieces of wood on top of those boxes to weigh them down, and then it'll just kind of drown them out and kill them. Takes away the sunlight. So this is a medicinal herb garden. I know it doesn't seem like much right now, but we have some coneflowers. There's some calendula going to seed right here. There's some goldenrod, and I know that stuff was crazy when we moved in on this entire property, but it's actually very good for allergies. So I'm not gonna like make any claims here, but it is good for allergies. So I'm actually collecting the flowers off of that last year, and I'll collect this year. And then we have our Roman chamomile here. So pretty. More of those calendula seeds. You can see they just literally, like if you crumble them, they will literally just like fall off into your hand. And you can plant those and seed start. Or what I do is I'll take them to like another area, like back in the back. I have medicinal stuff back there too. But you can just kind of sprinkle them down. And then by next year, when you're going through and cultivating, it'll actually like sow itself. So that's what I do. There's more coneflower. There's St. John's wort. We got hyssop. We have lamb's ear. And then somewhere in here there was sage, but I don't know where it went. So anyways, again, weeds, good, bad, and ugly. Not here because my garden's perfect, but just wanted to kind of share some progress with you. This thing kind of volunteered itself in this spot, zinnia. Look at those little, oh, those Japanese beetles, man. We gotta suck those up before those things go crazy. Japanese beetles, man. Yuck. Ew. So the Japanese beetles loved my green beans last year. And then they also really like my, what was it? Was it blackberries or was it the orchard, Peyton? Oh my gosh. So look at the little pumpkin. Ah! I was so excited. I didn't even know they were growing out here until today when I came out. There's one there, and then there's another one right through there. I was so excited. So these ones are doing good. Again, still having to stay on top of them with the squash bugs. Lots of pretty flowers. We're just going to pay attention to the flowers today, aren't we? Yes, we're going to do that. And look at this little, so gorgeous. So pretty. So G came out and picked some flowers for me. What was it, yesterday or the day before?
I think it's yesterday.
Yeah. So, and then I can kind of show you guys. So this patch was sunflowers, and they're on both sides. Last year I grew watermelons in those patches, but because it didn't rain for like a month here in North Carolina, they don't have irrigation, so those sunflowers died for sure. There's the chickies. I'm gonna go say hi to the chickies. I know it's a garden tour, but they are my garden flock. So we're gonna show off our girls and our handsome guy. Hi, Luke. He's such a good boy. He has been an amazing rooster. And if you guys have seen our other videos, you knew that he went through a rough patch with the other adult roosters in his flock. He was out in the pasture flock out there, but we moved him in here after that debacle. He's got 13 girls in here, and he does a really good job doing his job with 13 girls. Can you even imagine? Oh, anyways. So the grass is coming in here, and what we've been doing is we've actually been taking the chicken poop. You can see some down there. As you know, it's fertilizer, and you know that we have been using the fertilizer machines out there in our pasture, generating grass. And so the boys will collect it from the chicken coop, and then we bring it out and we'll put it in areas, as you can see, that are still have not been filled in. And then this was the beginning of spring, and as you can see, it's pretty filled in. So
this is the spot behind you is where we did not fill it in, and then right there over there is where we did.
Yeah, so you can see a clear difference, like where they weren't putting it versus where they had been putting it. So anyways, it definitely works. We did put like a little elderberries along this T-post right here. There's one there and one on the other side, so that number one, it offers medicinal benefits for their immune systems and parasites. There's one flowering, and then on the other side there's another one, but also for shade, because they don't have any shade out here. And I didn't really want to plant a big tree because we have hawks and they'll just land in the tree and swoop down and get them. So that was kind of something I had to think about. We do have grapes here. So those ones, there's already Japanese beetles on there.
Look at right here.
Oh man, he's like eating that, isn't he?
Yeah.
Anyways, so the Japanese beetles are in full swing, so we're gonna have to be watchful. Oh yeah, look at that leaf. That's what they do, you guys. Oh, what a pain in the butt. So anyways, I need to fertilize these two grapes, and then I have some grapes on the other side too. But these beds here is where I pulled out the carrots. So I do carrots in the raised beds like this with the strawberries on the other side. You saw those, and then the asparagus. But we do them in this because our soil is so hard that there's no way that you're gonna be planting carrots. So anyway, so I just do them in these beds. The ants do like these, so you got to stay on top of that because they will literally take over your whole thing. And the ants were in this one, and that's why we planted, you can see we pulled them up, but we had planted onions in here, and we just recently went and pulled them up. So they actually do really well because the ants are underneath, and so They don't really care for the onion roots. The ants will eat some roots on some plants if they get a big enough mound. Yeah, this is where there's no irrigation. Good, bad, and ugly. That's what we're here for, right? So anyways, we're gonna go ahead and just bypass that one. So here is the perennial garden. So back here is all of the stuff that's gonna like come back again. And over there on the other side that I showed you guys is more of the annuals and like the vegetable gardening. This is more perennials and things that are like medicinal use also. So we do have some yarrow. We have some strawberries here. More yarrow. You'll see it kind of sprinkled in here. This is the blackberry. And these ones are just, we need to just kind of cut those. But look at Mr. B here. Good job.
This is
Such a good job, Mr.
This
B.
is a thornless kind.
Yes, and this is thornless. So the blackberries that we have on our property that just like pop up wild, those ones are literally like, they're from the devil. I swear they're from the devil. They are so terrible with the thorns. So these blackberries are definitely thornless. And then this is an iris. My massage lady actually gave me a bunch of plants when we first moved onto the property. And so I just kind of randomly stuck them places. So you'll see it's just kind of there. And then we have blueberries back here also. And you can see the new growth on those blueberries. So if you are new here, we moved into this property in the winter of 2022. And so everything's kind of just getting established, which is why I like to show this, kind of showing some growth with some raw land. And I will say, down here, we built, and then you'll be able to see, maybe. Yeah, you can see clay. We can see the clay down there. So it actually, even with that 30 days, we watered a few times back here, but not very much. Because of that clay soil down there, it actually retains a lot of moisture. And so we're able to get away without irrigation back here because of that clay. So a lot of people demonize clay soil. It's terrible, blah, blah, blah. But it's actually really beneficial if you use it in your favor versus looking at all the flaws. So anyways, more strawberries, more blueberries, kind of goes all the way across, more iris. We have some, there's marshmallow in here, which is medicinal. There's yarrow, there's chamomile, there's some cauliflower, I want to say, or it could even be, I forget if it's cauliflower or if it's the brassica, or not the brassica, the Brussels sprouts. We did go through here. We had onions that were doing their second year, which means that they went to seed because they're biennial. And so we did dry because we'll crumble those up. And then next year, guess who's not going to have to come back here and plant onions? You guessed it. So, and then all of these pieces that are here attached will become mulch. So I'm reusing every single part of that onion. Number one, we take the bulbs. Number two, the stems compost. And then the seeds go in. Look at this blackberry. I just kind of let it do its thing.
This is also the same thing, so it's a runner.
I'm kind of one of those, like, who is it? The Ann of all trades, like the lazy gardener. That's pretty much me. Nothing's perfect. I kind of like to see how things are gonna go.
And this will turn into another
and go from there. Yeah. And then, oh, and we have some bergamot also, wild bergamot, which is another medicinal. So, anyways, I did an experiment. Now, these beds here, we do have some like hostas, and then we have some iris and things that we did plant from my massage lady. But all the rest of the stuff grown in here is all a mix that I did. It's a perennial, I believe it's a pollinator mix. And so if you see anything that you recognize, shout it out, because I don't have everything named yet. I've been kind of letting things go, letting things do their thing. Probably have lots of weeds and grasses in here, which is fine for now. I do want the so I didn't want to go through and just decimate things either and disturb roots. So we do have some persimmon trees back here. Those are native. They just popped up in my garden, and so I've been trying to kind of keep things a little bit trimmed, keep them off that back electric fencing, and I'm going to let those kind of go. And then let's go over here. I don't have anything in those black bags yet, so still trying to figure out what I want to do with those. I haven't really needed them yet. So over here we have again a bunch of strawberries through here, and then we did a bunch of, again, trying to suppress weeds, and then we have a bunch of elderberries. So the birds really like the elderberries. I'm trying to get out here before the birds get all of them, which is really hard. This one actually might be ready. Oh yeah, you can see. So there's the elderberries. So they start out as a flower.
Whoa,
And then you see that?
Eat one?
They start out a flower and then they turn into these fruits. Yeah, you can eat that. That turns into like the elderberry syrup. Remember during the winter time? So beauty, huh? So we definitely have to strain those because there's definitely seeds in there, which is good if you're wanting to plant seeds. But anyways, so I tossed in some sunflowers back here just to kind of help loosen the soil. Sunflowers are good for that too, as well as nitrogen. There's another persimmon growing back here. We have some volunteer zinnias. And then you can see here the seeds happening with this is asparagus. And then you can kind of see the stalks down there. And we put this straw down to hopefully suppress weeds. I don't know. It's not really working very good, but. And then, oh, these things. So these are passion flower. And if you have ever seen passion flower, I don't know if I have one that's bloomed still, because they're all kind of going to, whatchamacallit, fruit. So they also call it, what is it, the something apricot? If you guys know, I can't think of it right now. But anyways, these are actual like fruits. Maypop is what they are. So I've just been letting them go because inside the chickens actually really like those. So I'm not gonna like cut anything out and kill it that the chickens are actually gonna eat. So anyways, so I think that's gonna be it. Let me turn this around. So yeah, if you guys have any questions about anything, if you want to know what a specific variety is, let me know. We're just now getting to the point where we're getting a harvest, so that's been really exciting. But yeah, drop your questions down in the comments and I will definitely go through and answer those. We're gonna get ready to go inside. It's actually really nice. We may not go inside, but we're gonna kind of hang out for a little bit, probably watch our chickens because that's kind of what I do anymore. So we will catch you on the next video, and thanks for being here. Bye.